Welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors, everyone. This is going to be part one of a water check. It's going to be roughly half of the day's check. There's going to be some land animals in there. There's going to be some water animals in there. Part two of this video will be coming out on Saturday, so stay tuned for that. Obviously, if I got enough to split it into two parts, there's going to be a few catches for you guys to see. Enjoy the video. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors. I am just plain tired today. My arms are sore and tired. I could hardly lift my coyote bag out of my pickup to throw it in my side-by-side over here. Yeah, it was a long night last night. I didn't get done skinning until about 20 to 10, so I hate to say it, and I don't know if this is the right term or not, but I feel like we're getting pretty darn close to max saturation. Not that I have the whole area saturated with traps, but the maximum amount of traps that I think I want to be tending each day. The only place that I may consider putting a few muskrat traps will be down where I got the couple beaver sets. Again, I'm driving a ways out of my way to go try and trap those beaver out of there. So it's a good sized slough, and like I said, on the one end of it there is a road kind of cuts part of it off, so there's slough on both sides of the road. I may drive by there at very minimum and see what there is for a culvert going from one side to the other. So, but yeah, that's gonna be about it. Otherwise, I thought yesterday I was going to do just a clean run through, but I ended up adding a few sets anyway. So I'm going to be get going roughly half an hour earlier more than yesterday because it was raining yesterday morning. So that didn't help anything out either. It rained some overnight, but it couldn't have rained all that much. But everything's just wet. Like, you know, there's no puddles, but like, even over here where my pickup was setting last night while I was skinning, it's actually almost dry because it was raining while I was skinning. You know, my animals got all wet, and the ones that weren't wet were wet by the time I got done skinning them. And yeah, like the muskrats and stuff did not dry off at all before I got them skinned. But yeah, okay, I think that's about it. Like I said, about it. I did do some cleaning in the old truck. So this tote here has footholds in there, muskrat footholds. These two have muskrat conibears. Some of them have Hague's brackets, some of them don't. The ones that don't use, I've been using these Sun Valley supply clips. What I did is I took a dozen of the ones that have the Hague's brackets and a dozen footholds, and I consolidated them down into this tote over here. And then there's a couple mink sets in there, or mink traps. You can see the two portable pockets. I only grabbed 2 traps, so I only need 2 pockets. So all of this gear, including these 3 floats, I'd like to get them out, but I think I'm done hauling them around for today anyway. And then there's a couple colony traps here. I left a couple inside my truck just in case. I do have a couple spots I could maybe consider putting them. You know, colony trap is pretty quick and easy to check. And then, yeah, so all of this muskrat gear in the back I'm going to set out. And then I'm probably going to set out a few of these poles. I don't know that I need, you know, probably 5 dozen or more, probably more than that, 6 dozen 6-foot and 5-foot muskrat poles if I only have 2 dozen traps worth. So probably going to throw out a bunch of those. I'll leave a few of the 6-footers, and I'll leave the 5-footers and whatever 4-footers I got in there. But I think a chunk of these 4-footers I'm going to take, or 6-footers I'm going to take out too. So we're going to have quite a bit more room, because if I get all of this stuff off the tailgate, all of this space for activities. So I did in this milk crate, I had a couple MB550s I threw on top of that crate. So both of these will be for muskrats today. And then, yeah, room for beavers and coyotes and raccoons and everything else in the back here. So, you know, I'm only one check in. This will be the second check on the water line. And last night, I mean, while I was while I was eating supper at 10 o'clock last night, I was like, man, am I crazy for what I'm doing? But I said, we're gonna give her a go again today and see how things go. But I'm tired, I'm sore. I didn't get any fur actually put up last night. You know, I didn't get the muskrats fleshed or anything. So, and I think I mentioned in the past, or one of the other videos, I'm running out of freezer space in a hurry. So, all right, I think that's all I got for you guys. I'm gonna go down and put my waders on. So I did all this with just, you know, shoes on, and I did go check with a couple coyote sets in our land with nothing in them already. So 2 sets checked with nothing. We're gonna go throw my waders on, and we'll stop by the trapping shed, and I'll dump all this muskrat gear. It's only gonna take a minute just to set it all in there. I'm not gonna get too carried away putting it away necessarily. It's just gonna get it out of my truck and in there, and I can organize it another day. All right, let's get out on the line. All right, we'll turn my back to the wind. It's brisk out here. Wind switched from a south wind yesterday, and I think it went almost calm overnight, and then now it's picking up out of the northwest, so it's kind of a colder wind, and it's damp out here. We must have got a fair amount more rain than what I thought in the yard there, because there's a lot of puddles on the roads and stuff. So it's gonna make things interesting out on the line. Trying to get sets remade, etc. Bingo. So the first stop of the morning, I had a flat set right here, and we got ourselves a not a terribly small but not a very big raccoon in here. He's actually not terribly muddy, and even though he's got this tore up like he does. So yeah, raccoon on the first stop of the morning, and then I'm pretty sure my set down here on this tree line is set off. So we're gonna go reset that one first, and then we'll come back and I'll get him out of here first, and then we'll go reset that one first, and then come and reset this one, because I want to reset that one when my hands are still clean, you know, like no raccoon smell or anything on there. So yeah, so first catch of the morning, got a little raccoon here, caught my coyote set. And actually I stopped on so the road goes up this way, tree line that way, fence or crop change edge there, and a tree line here. Got all the makings of a good spot, but I stopped up on the road, and it actually looked like coyote tracks in the mud right along the edge of this field over here. So, but I didn't get him, I got this guy. So this is the reason why I actually bring extra traps, because that trap looks decently muddied up. So if it gets really bad, I'll actually just pull the trap and put a clean one in there. You know, if they really, this one I'm pretty sure I can get cleaned up, but you got to be careful about, like, if you start getting freeze thaw weather and your trap's all muddy, it'll freeze your trap up solid. So, all right, like I said, we'll get this guy dispatched. We'll get both of these sets remade and get on with the line. This is why I mentioned that I think I'm about to the saturation point of my line, because, you know, the last couple of days I've been fortunate and had slow days on the land line, enough to get me so I could check the water line and get the water line out. But I don't foresee that holding true. You know, if I end up with, you know, 10 animals on the land line today, it might be tough getting everything checked in the daylight. So with that said, we'll get him out of here, get these remade, get on with our life. Well, I'm not making great time through the line, that's for sure. I don't know, I've checked a dozen sets since I had you guys on last. We got ourselves another catch here. More what I'm trying to catch in my coyote sets. There is a coyote. So one of the very first checks, I had a raccoon caught in this set, and then a few days later it was set off, and I actually had a pull out in here, you know, a chew out. of another raccoon. And then now today, I was actually beginning to wonder if this set, I was thinking about doing a maintenance on this trap one of these days, but today wasn't going to be the day just because as wet as everything is. But we got ourselves a coyote. It's not a real big coyote, I would say a pup from this year. He is decently muddy, which is not great. He's got that trap pretty well mudded up. I'm not even so sure, he hasn't really hardly moved since I got here. I'm not even so sure that he don't have both of his front feet caught in my trap, but either way, glad to have him. Keeping up that coyote a day average, that's for sure. I've been catching at least one every day, it seems like, so. All right, we'll get him out of here. So I only have one more like abandoned farm place to check, and then we'll be to the water line. I wasn't going to, but I think I'm gonna actually stash these guys at that abandoned farm place because it's only 3/8 of a mile out of my way at the end of the line to go back there and pick up animals. So I think this coyote and the raccoon I got are gonna stash there. Just gonna keep me the extra room I have in there in case I get more wet and muddy animals that, you know, won't get this guy wet and muddier. But all right, let's get out of here, get the set remade, go check some water sets. Well, the landline is coming back with a vengeance here. We're inside this chicken coop again. The house is over this way. There's a granary over here. I've showed you this set a couple times. So it's just a blind set coming in the back of this little chicken coop here. I don't know. I'm on the wrong end of him. He's right here. There's a skunk again caught in this set. Third time now I've had a skunk caught in here. I think he's tangled up. I don't think he can get too far. But yeah, I'm kind of on the business end of him, but he's right here. The funny thing is, again, there's like no trail going out the back of this building or anything like that. So I don't know if one smells the other ones that were already caught here or what really is happening here, but 3 now in the same set. So yeah, we'll definitely be storing. All I did is I just laid right in front of the door here the animals the other day, so we're just gonna drag the coyote and that raccoon in here and we'll get this guy out of my set. I know you guys probably can't see him that well, but he's, like I said, he's right here. He's kind of tangled around. There's a vertical upright. I think he's tangled around. You know, I guess it's this board that goes right here. I think he's tangled around the bottom of that, so I don't think he can get too far. But I think I'm going to actually have to go outside and try and dispatch him from the outside. But all right, like I said, we'll get him out of there, get the set remade, get the raccoon and the coyote stored in the building here so they're out of the elements and kind of out of sight, out of mind for everyone else. And we'll continue on. The next sets are water sets. So if that goes anything like today, we're going to have a heck of a day. So, all right, let's get him out of here. All right, first slew blanked out in there. The only thing that I've been messed with, my Mink pipe dream or portable pocket was turned. So when I straightened it out, I'm like, oh, let's just poke my finger in there, and my bait was gone. So, and now I just freshened up this one here. So the idea was I'm gonna squirt a little bit of fish oil in each one of them. I'm using carp for bait. This pocket here was empty too, so it's gonna be hard to catch mink when you don't have anything in your set. But the trap was actually set off here, so I don't know if I missed him or what, but either way my bait was gone. So I changed up my set a little bit, blocked it down a little, so they gotta basically come around to the front of the pipe, and hopefully that's where my trap is. But I do have 2 muskrat sets right here. So again, my portable pocket's just right in here. But I don't know, I think you guys can probably see him there. Looks like a pretty good sized rat there. And then I got a foothold right here. And that's got a little smaller rat in there. So we doubled up at least on these 2 sets. Even though my mink set had been messed with, but I got that already reset. So we'll get these 2 muskrat sets remade, and I have a couple more in this slew to get checked. All right, so I'm just to the other side of the road where I just had that double, and I got a float setting here. There isn't as much sign on this side of the road as there has been other years, so I find it kind of odd. Usually there's huts and stuff over here, and there's actually more open water than normal on this side, but we're going to take some of this stuff and freshen up my float here a little bit, but you can see both my traps are gone. We'll see if that means anything. There's one, not a very big guy. And there's two. So the old float comes through with a pair of little muskrats. Neither one are very big. Again, we'll get these two reset. We're gonna leave a little bit of this weedy stuff on there as kind of a lure on here, and we'll be on our way. Well, apparently this slew's the slew, so I just had that float, was just down here on the other end. Right over here is kind of this end of it. Typically, like probably even all of this normally ain't even open water, so if that gives you any idea how much extra water there is around this year, just because it was so wet for so long. But there's a muskrat in that one. I see this one here set off too, and there's a muskrat in that one. All right. So 6 for 6 so far in this slew, and I still got 2 on the other side of the road to get checked. So we'll get these 2 remade and we'll get across the road. All right, we're to the next slew here. Only went 6 for 8 in that slew. I went 0 for 8 the first slew. So anyway, first 2 sets are both set off. This one here's got a miss in there, but this one here's got a nice big muskrat. I could see him floating. My bait is gone. Ugh. So we got ourselves a pretty decent muskrat there. So we'll get both of these remade, or that one reset, this one rebaited and remade, and we'll check the ones on the other side of the road. All right, we're just on the other side of the road from where I just had that one in the foothold and the other one was set off. Well, that's a telltale sign of a muskrat right there. My foothold over here looks to still be working, so we'll get this guy out of here and get it remade. Well, my float is getting a heck of a ride in the waves here. Let's see if she's bouncing pretty hard, but it's floating good. It's moving up and down on the pole the way I want it to. But as you can see, the trap is gone here. And there we go. We got a nice big muskrat on the float again. So there really isn't anything for weeds here. There's like hardly even any cattails. So this one I'm probably just gonna end up leaving empty for today, and there you go. But we got ourselves a muskrat. That's 2 floats checked, 3 muskrats out of 4 sets. So I was a little concerned yesterday, but man, they're definitely making catches. So we'll get him out of here, get me out of the wind. Well, we're stacking up the numbers in this slew here too. So that float was down the road on the opposite side of the road. So let's see, I got 3 for 6 sets. But then I pull this set out here. Got a nice muskrat on that pole set, on that foothold. And right over here, you guys can see there's a floater. That's a nice big muskrat too, so that's 5 for 8 right now. I'm gonna quickly get you across the road here. I'll come back and remake those, but I got 2 more on this side of the road. Resetting that float was tough. The water's just deep enough I could hardly stand and get the trap reset, and the waves splashing. I darn near had my finger caught in there. All right, so we got our 2 sets over here, both set off. I see 1 catch for sure. There's 1 catch, not a real big muskrat, but a muskrat nonetheless. And then in my foothold set here, there's another little guy. So not only are we catching doubles, we're catching quads. So that's 7 muskrats just out of this slew. So heck of a day so far. We got a lot of sets still to check. So we're gonna get going, get all 4 of these remade and be on our way. All right, last traps on this road here. So the slew I just was catching the last bunch in is just down the road, a couple 100 yards to the north of me here. But I had to drive by this slew. I mean, there's a big hut over there, there's one over here, there's one over this way, well, a couple small ones. Looks like a little one started right over here, but that's a telltale sign of a muskrat, and that's a telltale sign of a muskrat. So a double here again. Got him by both back legs, just a little guy. All right, we'll get these 2 remade, get moved on. Having a heck of a day so far on the muskrat line. On the whole line, really, but I apologize if I'm not showing the locations very well, but as you can see, I got a lot to do in a short time to get it done. So bigger slew here, there's this culvert under the road. Had the colony trap under that end yesterday. I moved it because this end is quite a bit deeper than the end behind me. But I moved one of my sets right over in front of the culvert here. I see it set off today. So I'm actually standing on the top of the culvert here, trying not to fall in. Ooh, and I got a nice big muskrat in that set. The foothold is just right over here. It's not set off. So we'll just set that there. Yeah, it's just a colony trap. The water's too deep. I can't tell where my set is actually at, if I'm even getting it all the way into the culvert. So I moved my colony trap right in here. We'll check that in a second, but both of these sets are set off. They're knocked off. Well, that one's set off. So I actually swapped that trap out yesterday with a new one. And there we got a nice big muskrat in that one. And actually the muskrat I got caught on that side, that trap there, I couldn't keep set either. So I put a new trap there too. So, all right, and I'm gonna kind of keep my debris. So I just put a little debris over the top of that. Oh, where is it? So I got a wire on the trap here. Let's see. And nothing again in the colony trap. Empty. So we'll just kind of get that. And I don't know with the water being so deep on the other end, if that's stopping them from, I just dunked my shirt in the water. That's what I was trying not to do. Yeah, so we'll get 3 of these remade and get moved on. I got a bunch more sets down the road. This slew kind of disappointed yesterday, so it's nice that I got 3 out of the 5 traps here. So, all right, let's get them remade. Move on. All right, so I just had, I lied. I only had 2 muskrats down there. The 110 was just set off, but I got a float right here. You can see where the slew kind of opens up to the bigger part of the slew here. Just trying not to fall on the rocks. Again, there really isn't much. Oh, right in here, there's a little bit of weed. You know what? Most of it's cattail. Just to put a little bit of weeds. Right here, there's a chunk of weed on my float here. But the one side is off. And there is, oh, lost it. And there's a pretty good sized muskrat again on the float. So one thing that I'm liking is that I've yet to have a knocked off trap that didn't have a muskrat in there. And that was the goal behind the design of this particular float. So we'll get this guy out of here and we'll get moved on. Maybe see if I can find just a few more weeds here to throw on top of this thing. Otherwise, even like I got, it ain't bad. So, well, right there's another float. So the other float is literally just across the road right over there. Another float. Oh boy. Oh. First step's a doozy. Some of these really suck to check, I'm not gonna lie. And there we go, there is our muskrat. So again, I don't have a lot of weeds here, but I might see if I can get a little bit of like these cattail chewings or something and throw up on this thing, but we'll get him out of there. I do have a couple more pole sets. There's a approach cuts this slew, this part of this little, the smaller half of the slew, this approach cuts it in half. So I do have some sets on the other side, including a mink set over there. So we'll check those and move on. All right, we're down to the other end of the same slew here. So again, pretty good sized slew. The smaller part's on the other side of the road. 110 is set off with nothing. But this trap here has a little muskrat in there. So we'll come back and remake those. On the other side of the road, my 110 is at least set off. So using the hags brackets, they can actually like slide down the pole, you know, if they get a catch. Using these Sun Valley Supply brackets, the bracket stays there, the trap falls off most of the time, or it should. So then I can, you know, well, I guess not that I could see that it's set off, because obviously it is, but there you go. And there's a muskrat right there. And that pole set there is still working, so we'll get these two catches out of there, get that other set over there remade, and move on. We're having a heck of a day out here so far. I don't know what time it is. I'm avoiding looking at my watch just because I don't even want to know. I got to get every one of them checked regardless, so I'm trying to go as quick as I can here. Well, I guess I just need to be reminded that I am still running a landline at the same time as this water line. So yeah, for more of the sloughs where I was just showing you the catches, between that slough and there's a slough down here where I had the raccoon caught in my muskrat set yesterday, I do have 3 coyote sets. There's one in front of my truck over there. There's a dirt hole on the opposite corner of this tree line, and then there's one right here with a coyote in there. This pine tree line runs most of a mile to the wildlife up there. Where I was catching not the last slough, but the slough before, it's that wildlife on that end. And then again, this burnt off wildlife down here. So I figured the burning was gonna hurt my catch here, but this is the 3rd coyote back here this year. So I've had, this is a pipe dream set here, even though I don't see my pipe right at the moment. This is a pipe dream set, and then I had one in the dirt hole right over here on the corner a few days ago. So this looks like a little bigger coyote than the last 2 I've caught back here, so, and a bigger than the one this morning. And this guy isn't as muddy and, you know, a big dirt ball like the one was this morning, so. All right, we'll get this guy out of here. Like I said, it's gonna slow me down a bit on the line, and it's cold. With the wind blowing across the field here, it's cold right here, but, all right. We definitely have some work ahead of us even tonight once we get home, so it ain't even just running the line, it's taking care of everything after the fact. So like I said, we'll get this guy out of there and remade, and then yeah, I got 15 muskrat sets and a mink set in this slough right down here to get going check. So I'm guessing I will see you there. All right guys, I'm to the slough right after I had that coyote caught kind of up on the hill right by my truck there, behind my truck. We got this big muskrat hut. Like I said, this is the farthest I walked. It's maybe 100 feet from my truck. And it days like today, oh, miss on that one again. That's 2 days in a row. This one here, I could see my pole is leaning. Debris caught on my trap here. There's a little muskrat. One thing that I didn't mention yesterday is when I trap right around huts, I catch a lot of smaller sizes on average, I guess. And then this one here had a muskrat in it yesterday, and it's got a little muskrat in there again today. So Yeah, you're gonna get the whole family in a hut like this guy. Oh, darn it, pole just about tipped over, that'd be bad. Yeah, I've noticed it in the past that typically I'll catch a bunch of little ones. I mean, obviously there's muskrats here, they're building this huge house, but there's a family of them, so you're gonna catch the young of the year, you're gonna catch, you know, you gotta thin through all the young of the year to get to the bigger ones, I guess is what I'm getting at. So we're gonna remake all 3 of these. We're gonna fiddle with that trap over there, see if I can get it working a little better so it isn't empty tomorrow. So, but yeah, 2 out of 3 today. Had 1 out of 3 yesterday out here, and it was a small one too. So, but we're making catches. So I'm down a little bit towards the middle of the same slough. Yesterday I had 1 catch here and the other one was set off. But you could see a floater right there. And right here, there's another one. That's a pretty good sized rat there. So that makes 2 on this side of the road. The funny thing is, so all these cattails are clipped off right here. There's no hut anywhere that I can see down along the shoreline, anywhere here. But for some reason they cut off all these cattails right here. Very odd. To me anyway. Like I said, I don't know. There's 0 sign that there's a hut anywhere right there, but there was a sign that they were there, so I put my traps right where the sign was. On the other side of the road, we got where looks like they're trying to build a house up on the bank here. But my 2 sets look like they're both set off here too. And this one here, oh, that one's just set off. Well, that one's got a muskrat in it. So in 3 for 4 here, we're 5 for 7 traps so far in this slough. So we'll get all 4 of these remade. Get moving on. We got a bunch more traps up here, including where I had the raccoon caught yesterday. So let's go. All right, same slough. We're just by this giant culvert that goes under the road. So now you can kind of see the bigger, the main part of the slough. I guess there's a little island here, kind of blocks that side. I got a foothold here, conibear there that's set off, but right here, there's a muskrat floating in my mink set. So I got my pocket up over here under these weeds. It's got a muskrat in there. I'm not gonna pull it out of there. It's gonna take me a minute to get down around to where that's at to get it so I can actually get it reset. And then I got a float on this side here. Come on, work with me here. There you go. You can sort of see him. I got another muskrat there in my float. Yeah, that float's gonna be, it's kind of a pain in the butt spot. I like where I put it. I mean, it's out of sight of everybody that drives by. It's easy to check, but it's not gonna be easy to get that out of there. I'm gonna have to pull my pole, get the float over here, and then get it reset, move it back out, and try and get it staked back down. So again, here I might see if I could find a little bit of weed or something up over there and throw on there. But so 1 in my mink set, 1 in the float here. All right, the raccoon sets, 1 of the 110 was just set off with nothing in it. But on this side of the road, I see both of my sets are set off here. And you have to be real careful because they put big chunks of concrete here to reinforce this road, and they get wet and they get slippery. None of them are setting flat. Let's see here. Well, that's an empty trap. So yesterday I had a double here, but I got one nice big one today. All right, that makes 8 out of 15 sets in here today, so it's a pretty darn good average, and it seems like a lot of sets are set off, so I'm having to remake almost every one anyway. So all right, let's get going. All right, so we made it to some of the sets I added yesterday. Decent sized Slew here. I put 2 sets right here. Oh geez, it got really deep real quick right there. There might even be a muskrat run or something right here. And then I got 2 sets down over this way, and then a mink set kind of in between. But there's one muskrat. And this one set off. I couldn't see anything in there. Oh yeah, a giant muskrat. Look at the size of that thing. That's a dandy there for sure. So as it turns out, I maybe should have not put sets out yesterday, but I put 4 in this Slew, 2 more in another Slew that is just up the road here. And then I put 6 where I already had some, had put some in the other day, so I already had to stop there. But we'll get these 2 remade, and then we'll go down and check the rest of these. Well, I don't really want to say it wasn't worth setting these sets, because it definitely was, but on a day that I don't necessarily feel like I got a lot of time, nice big muskrat laying right over here. Big muskrat caught my foothold. There you go. And then in this set here, 110, I could see the tail. There's that little guy right there. So 4 muskrat sets in this Slew, 4 muskrats got 100% catch rate. All right, so the Slew I was just in is just down this road. Well, I'm like 200 yards maybe from that Slew. Again, I've been driving by this Slew, or I need to drive by it. I haven't historically done that well in this Slew, so I'm always hesitant, well, is it worth it or not? So I only put 2 sets here, and it's deep. Like, I'm well over waist deep. That set's still working, but I could see that's a muskrat in my 110 right there. So out of these 6 muskrat sets and a mink set, I got 5 muskrats caught that I added yesterday. So I don't know if I should have added, but we're gonna keep checking them. Well, the weather change definitely got the animals up and moving. Like I said, it went from strong south winds and raining all day and over into the evening. I think by like midnight it was done, I don't know, but I'm in the back of this abandoned farm place, so here's the house right here. I've been catching skunks over that way. And this is why I keep dealing with the rats. I literally just took a rat out of my dog proof over there. I didn't show you because I didn't figure you guys care. But I've caught 3 rats in this set. And now this is the 2nd raccoon, and that is a nice big healthy raccoon. So I keep putting my Z-caps back on because they keep being knocked off every day, or at least one of the 3 of them in this yard are knocked off. So I keep remaking it just because of this guy right here. So nice big healthy looking raccoon. He isn't muddy at all, which is sort of surprising, but there's a lot of leaf litter here, so he's kind of being shy now, but there you go. So yeah, nice big healthy raccoon. He can get all the way to here, so. All right, yeah, we'll get that guy out of here. Got a heck of a start to the day already, or probably halfway through all the wine. I wanted to make a point that last muskrat was muskrat 35 already for the day, if my count is right. My best day ever is 36, so the next one ties it, and then anything above and beyond that. But I probably got 40 muskrat sets left to check, so anyway. All right, we'll get this big guy out of here, get this set remade, and move on out of here. I got a good chunk of land traps kind of together. There's a couple water sets in between, but most of it's all land traps for a good stretch here until I get, actually I'm 1 Slew, and then I'm basically all land traps till I get down to where that otter, or where the beaver and otter sets are. So All right, guys, we're to the slough where I added the other 6 muskrat sets today, or yesterday. Right, just basically right out here, I put a float. Both are still working. I put 2 baited sets over here. The 110 was set off with nothing in it. I got a culvert going under the road. Here, I have some blind sets on that side and blind sets on this side. And then I put the other 2 baited sets yesterday down there. So, but this one here, so what it looks like is kind of a trail there and a trail right along the edge, and they're coming up and they're plugging this culvert, making a house, or I don't know what the hell they're doing, but so that one is just set off. I think we're gonna redo that set a little bit. But over here, I could see right down there is a muskrat. Ooh, and he's muddy. Decent size, pretty good size muskrat, but he's all muddy. I got plenty of water. We'll just dip him in the water and rinse him off a little bit. Yesterday, both of these blind sets were set off with nothing in either one. They're both hard to get set. Let's see, I don't see either one here. Oh, there's one. So essentially it looked like the trail was right here, and then they had a trail right over here on the edge of the culvert kinda, and that's what this one was blocking. And there's 2. Ugh. So we got 1 muskrat here and 1 muskrat there. Again, both basically just blind sets kind of block and run where it looked like they were swimming into the culvert here. And same thing over there, you could kind of see the trails in the mud where they've been going. So I put these out the first day setting, and then I put the baited sets yesterday. So we'll get these 4 all remade here. And again, I've got 2 baited sets way down on the end down there. So we'll show it's a pretty good size slough. Again, my baited sets are over by the corner here, and then there's just a little part of the slough on that side of the road. So, and I've been catching raccoons up in this grove already earlier on. So, all right, we'll get these 4 remade. We'll drive up and check those last 2, and then like I said, we're pretty good stretch of land traps from here on for a good while here. So. All right, I forgot to mention in that last little clip when I had the 3 muskrats down by the culvert, if my count is right, that puts me at 38. Makes the best day of muskrat trapping I've ever had, and we're adding to it, so there's 39. So this is the last of the new sets I added yesterday. This one was set off, I just reset it, but I can already see my carrots wobbling back and forth, so I don't think that's gonna stay set real long like that. So we're gonna doctor that one up again, and then we'll get this guy remade. And yeah, like I said, I got a pretty good stretch of landline, and I'm all for it right now, to be honest with you. It's getting cold out here. I don't think the temperatures went down, but the wind has went up. So, all right, we'll get both of these working better and get moved on. But yeah, best day of muskrat trapping ever. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the first half of this check. This is part 1 of the video. Part 2 is going to be coming out on Saturday. Stay tuned for that. There should be just as many catches as what was in this video, so you're going to definitely want to stay tuned for that. Otherwise, tight chains, guys. We'll see you out on the line.